if I am elected as South Sudan Football Federation president, is to try to clean up the image of our country. We have a lot of negative stuff that's said about us outside of this country, especially growing up and working in the football academies and pro clubs in Europe. I'm consistently asked, you guys have the physical ability, you guys have a gold mine in South Sudan, why is it not progressing? And to be honest with you, I don't have an answer, you know. I'm not going to say this is happening and so on because they don't understand the politics of our country. So the idea is, okay, if this is, we have so much talent and so much resources here, I made a decision, let me come back and try to kind of develop the football in our country and put us in a better light. So in terms of the international market, one of the things that we're trying to do is trying to arrange games, not only within the East Africa region, so we can start competing against West Africa, North Africa, South Africa, and have exposure to the European teams, the South American teams, the Asian teams. So also that allows us to showcase some of our players. The objective is to try to, if we don't have such a strong league here, is if we can find players to go and play outside of the country, they can also go and make a living, they'll be able to make money, and that money comes back into South Sudan. So this is one of the key programs that we're hoping that we can achieve by being the president of South Sudan. Thirdly, we kind of want to focus heavily on the human resources that we have here in South Sudan. We have a lot of coaches that have experience, 20, 30, 40 years of experience in this country, but are unlicensed. You know, why that is, I can't put a finger on it, but this is one of the things that we really want to improve on, okay? So trying to develop our coaches, get them coaching licenses, so this can be a profession. We really want this to be a profession, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you're a referee, whether you work in admin, the goal is long-term for us to work in football. And if you're a young kid, you have aspirations to work in football, and this is a way you can make money and feed your family and support your extended family. So this is some of the things that ideally I would like to bring to the Federation. Domestically, when I mean domestically in the States, we have ambitions to, one of the biggest issues that I found traveling around the country, the facilities are not there. Okay, we talk about, you know, getting balls and shirts and so on and giving it to some of the local teams and so on. But what happens is the uniform gets worn out and then also the balls are damaged because we don't have the basic infrastructure. So my goal is ideally is to try to have at least one playground in every single region, you know, major capitals. You know, we have some places where there's big populations. Juba will be a starting point. Let's try to improve the infrastructure here instead of just having 2 or 3 facilities. And then also the guys are able to solve that immediate problem in terms of infrastructure. So this is one of the goals that we're trying to achieve. We're trying to improve stadiums as well. We're trying to get as many stadiums. Yes, I understand there's challenges, but we can start one at a time. I'm going to be realistic. Yes, there are, I'm not going to come here and say I'm going to give you 15 stadiums in the next 2 years. That's unrealistic, but we can start where we are. We work with the local federations. They can work with us directly, and we can try to fix some of those problems and be transparent and be open and try to explain to them, this is what we can do, this is what you can do, so we can move together as a nation. That opens up opportunities now for the local federations to have games on a consistent basis for your kids, for my kids, because we are the next generation. Most of you guys here are relatively young, and you guys are in the stages now where you're in the middle. You got aging parents and you have young kids, and I'm sure you want them to stay here instead of going abroad and, you know, sending resources and you're disconnected from your family. So this is one of the things, by us having a football program, we can encourage our families to stay together, which is a benefit to our country anyway, and keep our resources here. So, and then finally, I'll just go back to the international market. We really want to lift and clean up what's going on here in South Sudan in terms of football. And my ambition is, like every person who becomes a president or a coach of this country, everybody wants to be #1 in Africa. Everybody wants to win the World Cup. Everybody wants to go to the Olympics and change the image of your country and achieve some of these things. These are also my ambitions. And I have a zero tolerance attitude to performance. So, you know, we don't want to leave anybody behind. We keep everybody together. We work together consistently to try to improve our national team. Because if our teams are winning in terms of football, then everybody else benefits. Our coaches start doing well, our referees starting doing well, and then we'll be able to bring in money. You know, don't get it mistaken. Football is a business. it is a business. If you see it across all the other countries in the world, it's a place where it's a full legitimate business where you have employees and you also represent your countries and then also improve the leagues in this country. Also, I want to touch on the women football because, to be honest with you, I've actually been around and seen some of the women's football, and the distribution in terms of contribution to the men and women is a lot lower. But I think we have enough women players, and I think we need to break the stigma that girls can't play football and so on. To be honest with you, I've seen some female players that are probably better than some of the men. You know, physically maybe they're not quite as big as them, but technically and knowledge of the game, they're there. So these are some of the things that I wanted to kind of really focus on. I've given you a brief highlight. I'll stop there, and then also I'll give the media opportunity to ask some of the questions, and then we'll conclude.